Alright, you white motherfuckers, all eyes on me. This is the I Refuse podcast. Ooh. Now I know y'all better come up in here and get some of this tea. Welcome to the I Refuse podcast show. I'm Mr. Fox, doing things a little bit different right now. I'm gonna do a week in review. You know, the big thing right now is the Diddy racketeering RICO human trafficking case. If this is your first time coming, I've been covering the Surviving Diddy series, as I've called it, since news first broke that Cassie, government name Cassandra Ventura, fine, broke the sucker wide open a little over a year ago. Filed that lawsuit. They settled within 24 hours. First thing I did is come over here to the group chat and tell y'all what it was, why it was necessary, what is the Abuse Survivors Act. It's on the YouTube page. And I've been going ever since. And as somebody that's been outside since the 90s, I had to revisit some half-cocked theories at the time surrounding this man, some mysterious circumstances that people around him are connected to him, the demises that they've come to, from Heavy D to Andre Harrell to one of his former bodyguards who is, is it me? Or does Justin Combs look like the bodyguard that Diddy had? The bodyguard that's since passed a long time ago. But that's not why we're here. We are here because this is the most major, this is probably another case of a lifetime. And this past week in the trial, a lot of things have come up and come out by way of the women that this man has entertained, dated, used, and the major player in this is the same woman that broke this sucker wide open, and that's Cassie Ventura. She got up on the stand, pregnant with her third child with her husband. My heart instantly goes out to her again, always has, that it takes a lot of strength to survive a lot of dysfunctional, unhealthy, unequal situations such as being with this man. And to know that on the outside of that, you have people still this deep into 2025, almost 2 years, still thinking this entire case is about Diddy being freaky. No, no, like nobody cares about that. Nobody cares that this man may or may not dabble with the same sex. Nobody cares that this man uses baby oil. Nobody cares this man is into threesomes, group sex, orgies, things of that nature. The distinction is what the fucking trial is about. Human trafficking. And Mr. Gray gave me such a definitive answer, a distinction that goes far beyond what we've all thought was the definition of human trafficking. You know, kidnapping people, taking them across state lines, forcing them to do prostitution, things of that nature. It can be adults too. A lot of what Cassie has stood 10 toes down on, and she has had to relive and retell during the course of being on the stand this week, falls right into that category. The nuances, and I hope the ashy lip, shitty underwear track brigade is listening, especially Bootsy Badass, is male workers, strippers, being presented one thing. Oh, this is, I'm going to go strip, go dance, and that's it. Y'all all seen Players Club, only came here to dance, and that's it. But when you get there, it's a totally different situation. There is a third party that is directing. There is this person that you are at the apartment or the room or whatever, and it's not what you were presented with. You're not there to strip. You have been commissioned, hired to have sex. Now, the woman in the equation, this is a woman that we've all seen the video, the hotel hallway video, where she's attacked. She is essentially dragged down to the floor and kicked for trying to leave. We've seen the bruises, we've seen the black eyes, we've seen even in interviews during that same time frame, there's no light in her eyes. There is videos that's come out this week of just the body language she has when she's with it. She's smiling, but she's not there. Like, I want people, especially men, that swear up and down that, oh, they're just trying to take down another black man. She she looked like she was in fear of her life for the majority of the relationship. And when you factor in this checks and balance system where even when you're trying to move on with your life, there's a consequence to that. And the consequence is cars being blown up. You see opposition, even like business opposition. And she's testified this man has rallied up his bodyguards or his security team and gotten guns and all this other stuff. And the inference is that he went to go see about this dude. it's it's very ticky boom. You could go down to the weeds about, oh, he's trying to be something he's not. That is a flight risk. And if he's like this or trying to portray this publicly against a man, and you've seen the stuff that I've seen when it comes to how he's treated Cassie during their relationship, there shouldn't be any argument or a second guessing or a third guessing as to what she's saying and why she's there. First of all, she was subpoenaed and she has the evidence to back it up. You you can't do that. This is deeper than assault. This is deeper than domestic violence. You are procuring adult entertainers that are their livelihood, their work is non-sexual. But when they get there, you are using them as sex workers. That wasn't the agreement. And then you have this woman in the middle who I'm willing to bet was drugged up the entire relationship. And you could say, she was willing. I'm willing to bet that there were a couple of times in the very beginning where she wasn't. And I would even go so far as to say that she's seen stuff that puts the fear in her, whether how he is or was with Kim, how he is with other executives, other intimate members of staff. You even have people, other women who were part of his employ that have their own experience with this man. Reaching under the skirt without consent. You know, the chef, the the woman that was employed as part of one of his companies. Like, and you have to understand that when you have somebody that is powerful, that is connected, and has this sense of entitlement, because the moment they sense that you are pushing back, there are consequences. Or if there's a moment that they are losing control, they get physical. That's a problem. And then people out here see all this stuff and still think this trial is about Diddy being freaky. Y'all need to take an American politics class, take a couple of government classes. Um, they say that Don Ricard and RBL Day are also going to be called to testify at some point during the trial. Trust to believe, like, with an investigation, as long as the government has been investigating, it's, I bet you they're going to call all the women, not just the ones that it's been reported that they have allegations against them. Like, you just gotta be on the up and up out here. So During the course of Cassie's first day on the stand, there the courtroom has been shown photos. The courtroom, everybody in the courtroom has heard explicit details, including his daughters, his his mama, Madame Combs, and even his boys, biological and non-biological. Because I swear, you pull up a picture of Justin Combs, or no, Christian. You pull up a picture of Christian Combs, because there's no denying that Justin is his, but Christian and Diddy had a bodyguard back in the '90s. Just saying. Um, the the length of the freak offs, the mention of people being on IV bags, the the expectation or um, influencing people to be on drugs to have sex, take breaks, come back. That too can lean very much into the criminal behavior because everybody has their limit. Everybody has their limit, and also you don't know all of what a person can do, like the different ways beyond just spiking a drink, the the different kind of drugs that are out there that you can't see and stuff like lubricants and things like that. And another part of Cassie's testimony is that she's had to endure sores and UTIs from the activity, um, most likely from certain things that aren't supposed to be taken internally. Like, if you still think it's about freak offs, you should probably stop at this point when you hear shit like that, do an about face, look in the mirror and be like, I am part of the problem. And we are in the shadows of Cosby, Kelly, Weinstein. This this is all of that times 10. When you get to a point where you are having how many hours on top of you are making people a party to what you want, and you are ruling people with an iron fist. Like I said, checks and balances, there's a consequence if you object, there's a consequence if you try to leave, there's a consequence for you and anybody else that is a part of you not being over here where you I feel you should be. Like it really should not, it should really just it doesn't seep in for y'all. And when I say y'all, not everybody, because there are a lot of us out here that are like, this is a different level. And this is far deeper and way bigger than his alleged shady business dealings with like artists and stuff. Um, and same sex play and stuff like that. Like where that ship had sailed a year or so ago when I was kind of reliving, like making the band, um, revisiting that and looking at it differently. Were there signs then? Um, and just the 7 degrees of separation and despair that have befell the people associated with this man that are no longer here to talk. It it has been a very wild ride. I, when Monday came, the opening statements from the prosecution and the defense, I'm like, this is this is starting off kind of paper thin. I didn't know they were going to have Cassie on this early, and I'm sure they'll have her on across multiple days since she is a main party. And you gotta remember, they were they were together hmm, over 10 years. Could you imagine the shit she's seen? She is Cassie is the witness, and I would employ or implore the grown ass men out here that are of the mindset that, oh well, they just trying to take another black man down, and this you still believe the trials about the freak offs. You should probably pay a little bit closer attention to the body language of a woman that is being abused, that is being isolated and alienated, not only from the life she had, but also from other people, the majority of the relationships that she's in. You are at a grown age where we've had the same discussions about Tina Turner, Ike Turner. We've had the same discussions. We've seen stuff like this. We've seen the movie where at some point during the timeline of abuse, the woman, this her spirit literally leaves her body. The joy, the the freedom, the all the things that she may feel makes her a woman, and the beauty in life. There's the clip of them, I think, walking across the pool area at some vacation spot, and she's smiling, but she's not there. And for her to live through all of that and still be able to retell the same story from the 30 some odd page filing that she did, great detail. Um, you, like, what's not clicking? I wish I could pull up the meme where Sister Patterson is like, what's not clicking? What's not clicking? I don't know what part of a regular dude seeing this that says the shit that y'all say. Um, we can't watch this live from the courtroom. A lot of us are wishing that they could, that we could. But at this point, do you really want to? I mean, the daughters can barely sit still through it. Um, if anything, I would be ashamed and embarrassed as a woman to know that my father is a party to this. And not only a party, but all of this shit is from his brain, is from a very dark place. And I remember there were a lot of people in the comments talking about had their own theories as to what led to this moment. As far like as soon as y'all heard that Cassie was coming, y'all were like had your own theories as to what really happened behind closed doors. It was really Alex Fine's idea to file the suit, and it's like, um, the real victim, Cassie is the victim. Alex is the victim. There is a feeling of hopelessness and not weakness, but just like you wish you could have done something had you not. And it takes a lot of strength for not just a woman, but a pregnant woman to come into a courtroom and have to retell, relive in front of everybody everything that she endured. And it's clear to me that like some of the men that are, or the people that have come up with their own theories and they still think it's about the freak offs. It's like you're telling on yourself. Like, dare I say, it sounds like y'all have an issue with people not feeling something and you still pressing the issue or pressing what you want to happen. Oh, yes. If you have not been paying attention, there are these men out here that are crashing out at rejection, jumping up and down on the hood of women's cars, um, posturing and going on these little rants because a woman rejected you and killing women. This is one of those times in history where we are finding out what side of the aisle some of y'all are on. No matter what you say, keep in mind that you are nowhere near the same tax bracket. So we don't want to hear you right now. Nobody's after your little 40-hour job. Nobody's after you for your little nest egg, you know, your pocket change that you keep in the corner of your bedroom. No, nobody's coming for your Papa San chair or your recliner that you sleep in your mama's basement. You were just not that guy. And for the rest of us, it's really sad that you have men out here that have kids, boys and girls, and you still have this kind of thinking when you look at this trial. Let's get into the tea. Let's get into the tea. So, you people, I'm gonna tell y'all, she back to the trial. Cassie is due to return to the stand today at 9:30. So I'm on the East Coast. So probably around lunchtime, maybe a little bit before lunchtime in my time zone, she'll be back on the stand. Keep in mind when you use the phrase freak offs, just know that drug fueled sex encounters that lasted for days. She has to get back up there and be cross examined. And yes, while I understand the prosecutors and the defense are just simply doing their jobs, it's just added stress for a pregnant woman. Just keep that in mind. Abuse, threaten, and coerce women, marathon sexual encounters, a relationship marked by violence and physical abuse, the drug fuel take freak offs, last several days to recover from. It like what more do y'all want? So you got, let's see, you got Don Ricard coming up soon. Get my screens together. She's coming up soon. Um, they'll take a break and then they'll conclude for the day around 5 p.m. Yesterday was the fourth day of trial. Um, over the previous 2 days, she detailed physical and sexual abuse by Combs and was blackmailed. See, that's a crime. Blackmailing people. Private messages were shared and part of the filing and everything. I I mean, he's going down, y'all. He's going down. Going through drug withdrawal before the 2016 hotel assault. He would be explosive if she did not do drugs with him. There were not drugs in the freak off baby oils. Wow. Ooh. And this is all just yesterday. More texts about freak offs, jealousy of Kim. Yeah, he's going down. It's just no way around it because what in the world? This is very deep, very very deep. Sorry, hold on. I'm alive. I'm alive. The short of it is, if you're going to be like a freaking into drugs and all that other stuff, keep that to yourself. You don't have to bring in a network of folks and surprise people with shit. Like I said, if a person is a stripper and they believe that they're hired to strip and they show up and you want them to do other shit and you in the corner directing them, ugh, it's crazy.